After that, Park Soo-ho makes the loan shark go down to their knees and apologize to him and Junho. They also admit that from that moment onwards, Park Junho no longer had any business with them, and all of his debts were settled. Park Soo-ho makes sure to humiliate them by making them say this over and over again, louder each time. Eventually he lets them off, but warns them, saying that if they try to mess with his brother again, it will be the end of them. Saying this, Park Soo-ho swiftly makes his exit, as the head of the office seethes in anger. Once Soo-ho left, he finally got back up, and declared that he is not done with them at all. After all, he also has people backing him to do this. Meanwhile, Captain Kang Min-hyuk enters the room of an official at the Awakeners Bureau. Min-hyuk tells the man that he has recruited someone talented and that he has great potential. Min-hyuk was very enthusiastic, which amused the man, who decided to look into it. The man sees that the recruit he was talking about was in fact Park Soo-ho, an F-ranked Awakener. However, Min-hyuk argued that the fact that he is an F-ranker and just registered as an Awakener on that very day makes him better. He tells the man to look into Park Soo-ho's files on the computer database. The man tries to do so, but it turns out that information about Park Soo-ho is kept classified. This confuses the man and Min-hyuk, as they didn't expect his information to be classified. Despite this, Min-hyuk tells the man to dig deep to gather information about Park Soo-ho. They do so, and get to know just how strong Park Soo-ho is. With them getting to know about all of his past feats, they're astounded by that, and wonder how Soo-ho got the better of someone like Choigu Sheik without any potent equipment. It makes Min-hyuk's excitement for him legit. But the man asks Min-hyuk if he knows why Park Soo-ho was missing for 10 years. He thinks that it is possible for Soo-ho to be a member of the Secret Service. This puts doubt in Min-hyuk's mind, as he never thought of Soo-ho as a spy. The man tells Min-hyuk to just give up on the idea of scouting Soo-ho, because he is most probably working as a spy. The man says that he already doubted this would turn out like this the moment Min-hyuk started to make a fuss about it. Min-hyuk now understands why Soo-ho seemed indifferent to these things. Following this, the two of them decide to go outside for coffee. As they get ready to go out, Min-hyuk asks why a special agent would opt to go through beginner-level dungeons for no reason, to which the guy says that he has no idea. Min-hyuk still asks the man to keep an eye on Soo-ho. However, the guy refuses to do so for reasons he stated before. Min-hyuk tells him to just give him a normal weekly report on Soo-ho, because there is no saying when they find something special within him. But the guy still refuses. Meanwhile, Soo-ho goes out to meet up with his brother Park Junho at the hospital. Soo-ho makes sure to bring a lot of food for Junho, to which Junho asks why he spent so much on food. Soo-ho tells him to not mention it, and that he got him food because he heard that eating well helps with recovering quicker. After eating, Soo-ho asks Junho if he is feeling good, to which Junho says that he feels a lot better, and that he'll be able to take off the bandages on his head tomorrow. This reminds Junho that Soo-ho also has his mercenary license exam tomorrow. Junho hopes that Soo-ho passes, because then he will be able to join a nice guild. However, Soo-ho doesn't like the idea of him, the king of the forest, joining up a guild and becoming someone's lackey. Junho asks Soo-ho if he should look into some nice guilds for him, but Soo-ho tells him to spare the effort, because Soo-ho intends to build his own guild. This shocks Junho, who doesn't know if Soo-ho is thinking about doing the right thing. Meanwhile, Choi Soo-young was heading out when her boss called out to her. Her boss tells her to stop slacking off, as he reports that there have been 2 portal openings in her area. The portal in Seoul could have ruined the city if it was a bridging portal. This angers Soo-young, who asks the boss if they can't even do anything without her help. The boss apologizes but says that he has been chewed out by the Portal Bureau over these things. Annoyed, Soo-young asks the boss if he wants her to resign over this matter to calm things down. However, the boss tells her that he just wants her to focus on her job, because she is wasting her potential as things stand. Soo-young sort of gets what he is saying, because she has been having a hard time focusing on things lately. Just then, the boss hands over a letter to Soo-young sent by the main bureau. Reading the letter instantly irritates Soo-young, who asks if the main office really needs to call her over for such trivial matters and not let her take a well-deserved break. The boss tells her that she doesn't need to sweat it so hard because she isn't the only one going for the duty. Soo-young gets annoyed and just decides to leave, but the boss tells her to select as many people as possible because they're short on people and need assistance in the future. However, Soo-young reckons that it is better if she just rejects the people who aren't even capable of defending themselves. The story then goes forward into the day of the mercenary test. where everyone is looking forward to passing. After all, some of the people are coming back for years straight. One of the students out there starts streaming the event to the internet, asking his viewers to support him as he looks set to pass the exams. He tells them that he will provide them exciting hunting content if he passes the exam, so they should cheer, like, and subscribe to him. He shouts out to donations just like how streamers normally would. Just then, the supervisors start coming inside, which warrants the streamer to stop his stream for the day. Just then, a curious Park Soo-ho stares at the screen of the guy's phone. The guy, startled, asks Soo-ho if he has never seen what a stream looks like. Soo-ho, confused, asks the guy who he was talking to, which annoys the guy even more. The guy gets annoyed even more and decides to ignore Soo-ho for now. Just then, Major Kim Young-soo arrives and he tells everyone that he will be the head supervisor for the next 3 days. He also introduces the 21 other supervisors who the students will be assigned to, and they will decide whether or not the students will pass the test. The students are worried about this, some hoping that they get assigned to Captain Park Young-soo, who is known to be quite lenient, so students pass under him. On the other hand, there were people praying that they don't get assigned to the witch, who is very strict and fails more than half of the students. Following this, the head supervisor tells the students to line up in line with their assigned supervisor. The assignment starts, and the streamer, Han Dong-soo, is assigned to the 15th supervisor, and this scares him. Park Soo-ho is also assigned to the same supervisor. They line up, and this is when Soo-ho notices that his supervisor is Choi Soo-young. The blonde girl, Choi Soo-young, also notices Soo-ho. Following this, the students are instructed to head back to their locker rooms. Some students were happy about getting easygoing supervisors, while some were upset at getting strict ones. However, they also found solace in knowing that they weren't assigned to Soo-young. The students were also mesmerized by how cool the training facility was, with the gym resembling an MMA arena. Inside the locker, Han Dong-soo was feeling down. He had promised his viewers that he would pass the test with ease, but now that he is assigned to her, he doubts he will have to go back home tomorrow. Soo-ho notices him and decides to approach Dong-soo regarding this. He asks Dong-soo why he was feeling down, when he was feeling quite happy just a moment ago. Dong-soo gets annoyed by his ignorance and asks Soo-ho if he is supposed to dance. Soo-ho doesn't quite understand why he is behaving that way. Dong-soo then asks Soo-ho if he is not aware of Soo-young's wrath. There's a reason why they call her the witch. It is said that she fails students for the littlest of mistakes based on how she is feeling that day. She is really ruthless. However, Soo-ho sees no problem in that, because he thinks the fault for failing lies more on the students for not being prepared rather than the supervisors. This irritates Dong-soo, who thinks of Soo-ho as a good-for-nothing rookie, so Dong-soo tells him to talk respectfully to his elders and not be twat. He asks if Soo-ho has a reason to be going against everything Dong-soo is saying. Soo-ho, with a straight face, says that if Dong-soo really has a problem with that, he should stop whining and duke it out with Soo-ho like how real men would. He does know a place where they can fight after all. This angers Dong-soo even more, as he asks Soo-ho if he thinks of him as some pushover. Without hesitation, Soo-ho says that he does see him that way. Beyond raged, Dong-soo gets up and tells Soo-ho to join him, as he is now ready to fight it out. After a while, Choi Soo-young comes into the room, only to see it totally empty. This annoys her, as she wonders just where the students had gone to. The scene then shifts to the gym, where everyone had gathered for the fight between Soo-ho and Dong-soo. They are overwhelmed by the MMA-style cage, as they tell Soo-ho and Dong-soo to finish this quickly. After all, if they get caught, all of them will fail on the spot. That being said, they'll most likely fail anyway, so not like it matters. The two of them prepare to fight, as Dong-soo tells Soo-ho that he has made a mistake by picking a fight with him. He asks Soo-ho if he has never heard of Kaboom Dong-soo. He is a popular and rising boxing YouTuber who is quite good. Soo-ho doesn't know what a YouTuber is and asks what it means. Dong-soo is annoyed beyond the point of return and decides to teach Soo-ho a few lessons. The other students rally behind Dong-soo, wanting him to beat Soo-ho to a pulp. Dong-soo begins the contest by moving forward while throwing jabs. He tells Soo-ho that he likes to put brats back to their place, and that he won't be paying any hospital bills for what he does to Soo-ho. He then prepares to throw a cross, and tells Soo-ho to clench his teeth for this one. However, before he can connect with the punch, Choi Soo-young arrives. This makes Dong-soo stop, and all the other students run back to their room in fear. Soo-young then asks Soo-ho and Dong-soo if they're looking to fail on the first day. Dong-soo apologizes and tries to explain what happened. But Soo-young tells them that she only needs to blame one guy for the incident. Confused, Dong-soo asks what she means. So Soo-young tells them that whoever loses the fight will fail. So she tells them to fight it out. This shocks Dong-soo, who understands why she is called crazy. As Dong-soo is recollecting himself, Soo-ho gets ready to fight again. Dong-soo sees him and gets ready to engage him. He tells Soo-ho to hold no hard feelings because he brought this upon himself. Soo-ho also apologizes beforehand for this happening. Angered, Dong-soo throws a right hook, vowing to send Soo-ho back home with this. However, Soo-ho easily dodges the blow and counters Dong-soo with a solid uppercut to the chin. The punch immediately drops Dong-soo on his face, knocking him out. Soo-young watched on in shock. She realizes that Soo-ho is the reason why she is feeling uncomfortable. As she has been feeling this way since encountering him, it is normal to feel this way after encountering irregulars. Soo-ho walks up to Soo-young and asks her why she is spacing out. He then asks Soo-young if she wants to fight him too, in which case she should get inside the cage. The only condition Soo-ho has is that he wants her to not disqualify Dong-soo if he wins. This surprises Soo-young, and she calls Soo-ho crazy. She then leaves her sword behind and enters the cage to fight Soo-ho. Inside the cage, Soo-young asks Soo-ho if he is an irregular, which leaves Soo-ho confused. Soo-young immediately rushes in to attack, and says that she will tell him if he survives this fight. Soo-young leads in with punches, which Soo-ho pivots and blocks. However, Soo-young starts increasing her speed, and even tries to hit Soo-ho with a knee strike, which forces him back into a cross-block, but this allows Soo-young to adjust herself. She tells Soo-ho that she will give him an extra wish on top of his current wish if he beats her, before she hits Soo-ho with an athletic kick, which hits the mark. The kick sends Soo-ho flying, but Soo-young finds it fishy, as she feels that Soo-ho is hiding something from her. Soo-ho ends up grabbing the cage mesh, and manages to not get hurt seriously. He also says that Soo-young is stronger than he expected. Soo-young is shocked by this, as she didn't expect him to hold on. However, she decides against wasting time and goes on the offensive again. She kicks him down from the cage and tries to catch him with a split-legged axe kick on the ground. Soo-ho narrowly avoids it, but on the feet, he has to go to his defensive shell. As Soo-young unloads with a flurry of blows, Soo-young gets overzealous and thinks of hitting a spinning kick on Soo-ho. This leaves her defense open, and Soo-ho capitalizes on it by hitting a strong punch to the midriff. The punch is so strong that it breaks through the defensive barrier of Soo-young, sending her tumbling back. Soo-young was shocked by this, but Soo-ho was just getting started. He was looking forward to being the attacker for once. His impressive strength made it clear to Soo-young that he was indeed an irregular. So, before Soo-ho could attack her, Soo-young stops him, saying she has forfeited the bout. Soo-ho gets disappointed and asks why she chose to do this when the fight was just about to heat up. Soo-young says that the place is too small for her to use her skills, so she wants to settle the problem later in an open setting. For now, she forfeits and asks Soo-ho what his additional request is. Soo-ho asks her if there are other women in this world who are as strong as her. Soo-young says that she doubts there are, so Soo-ho chooses her and asks her to make strong babies with him. He wants to mate with her. This angers Soo-young, who slaps Soo-ho and walks away in embarrassment. Dong-soo, who had regained consciousness, sees this and wonders what had happened for Soo-young to slap Soo-ho. He then gets up and understands that he had gotten knocked out with a single strike. This upsets him, as it means that he had just wasted the application fee for nothing. He then looks at Soo-ho and asks him if he is satisfied now that he has gotten him disqualified. Soo-ho tells him to not worry, because he has not been disqualified. Meanwhile, the head supervisor watches this from the security camera, and he is stunned by the fact that Soo-young lost the fight. Back at the gym, Dong-soo asks Soo-ho what he meant when he said that he isn't disqualified. Soo-ho tells him that he managed to convince Soo-young to not fail him, hence he is good to go. Dong-soo brings up how he saw Soo-young slapped Soo-ho and asked why she did so. Soo-ho said that he doesn't need to know that. This makes Dong-soo think that Soo-ho took the slap from Soo-young to save him from disqualification. This makes him think of Soo-ho as a real man, and he starts respecting him immediately. He starts following Soo-ho like a lackey, and starts referring to him as Big Brother. As they start walking back, an announcement is made asking Soo-ho to go to the head supervisor's office. Once there, the head supervisor told Soo-ho that he wanted to ask questions, but made him aware that everything being said in the room is being recorded. The head supervisor tells Suho that he saw the little fight he had with Choi Soo-young earlier on. It surprised him how someone like Suho could go toe-to-toe and get the better of a B-ranked awakener like Soo-young. So, the question he wants to ask Suho is if he is an irregular. Suho tells the head supervisor how this is the second time he has heard that question, but he has no idea what an irregularity is. The head supervisor understands that Suho must have not been told about the bridge portal. So, he takes it upon himself to do the explanation. The bridge portal is what connects 3 different planets to Earth. The first planet being Aruk. It is a land with elves and dwarves, and a land that specializes in magic. Historically, they've been allies with Earth, and trades of culture and goods have taken place between them. People who went to Aruk and came back have brought back improved knowledge of magic and such skills. The second planet is Guchun, a planet where mammons and monsters are constantly at war with each other for the sovereignty of the nation. The mammons are the allies of Earth, whereas the monsters are enemies. The final planet is Mid-Ur, and they're the troublesome ones. The planet is inhabited by extremist orcs and monsters. They're always after Earth, and if a portal opens from that planet, an all-out war breaks out. The Earthlings who go through these portals into the other planet and come back are called irregulars. They possess much more strength than the average awakener, and are as such designated to be on a level of their own. Suho learns about all of these planets, but tells the head supervisor that he came from none of these planets. This makes the supervisor wonder if he is simply a dungeon returner, but that can't possibly be it, because a simple F-ranked awakener wouldn't be able to beat Soo-young. So, the head supervisor asks Suho which planet he came from. Suho says how he already told the bald doctor about this story, but he decides to repeat it for the head supervisor. Anyway, he tells him about how he lived on a planet with wolves for thousands of years. After hearing the full story from him, the head supervisor is left stunned. He tells Suho to leave and thinks about how ridiculous it is for Suho's story to be real. After this, Sergeant Kim Sang-shik comes into the room as ordered by the head supervisor. He is instructed to assume duty as supervisor number 15. Sang-shik asks why so, because Soo-young is already handling that duty. The head supervisor tells him that Soo-young ran away. Sang-shik asks why, to which the head supervisor doesn't answer. He just tells Sang-shik to take on the role, and specifically monitor Park Soo-ho as he is important. The next day, students are told to come to the training ground for the test to begin. Students are told to line up according to their supervisor. This is when Suho and Ko realize that their supervisor has been changed. They wonder if Soo-young got fired. Sergeant Kim Sang-shik introduces himself to the students and tells the requirements to pass the tests. He expects the students to complete the 100-meter dash within 9 seconds. He also wants the students to complete the tetrapentathlon within an hour. The students are appalled by this, as not all awakening skills result in a physical buff, but there's nothing they can do. A woman starts the proceedings, but due to her being overweight, she takes 13 seconds to complete the 100-meter dash. She is disqualified, but the girl thinks the requirements should be different for healers. However, Sang-shik makes it clear that monsters won't give healers longer to run away. Next up, Dong-soo is told to do the test. He is confident about doing it with ease, but others aren't so sure of making it within 9 seconds, let alone the tetrapentathlon. However, Dong-soo tells Suho that he will be seeing him in the next round, and just as promised, he completes the dash within 8 seconds. After what, Suho is told to do the dash, and he comes forward to do as instructed. Sang-shik pays attention and records the moment, as Suho dashes through the 100-meter mark in no time, leaving everyone shocked. Sang-shik immediately calls the head supervisor to tell him about how the physicals for Suho came out. He tells him that the results are shocking and sends him the clip to watch. The head supervisor sees this and asks Sang-shik if the reporters saw it. Sang-shik tells him that the reporters are having a field day covering this. They've taken photos and are writing pieces. The head supervisor then calls the head of the Awakeners Bureau, Kim Miso. He tells her to check the clips of Suho he sent her. Kim Miso plays them and is shocked by what she sees. Another man tells her that head supervisor Kim Young-soo has the ability to tell if someone is lying, and he has told them that Suho didn't lie once during his entire interview with Dr. Kim Young-kook. This stuns Kim Miso, who dismissed Young-kook's reports, but it turns out to be true. The megalomaniac F-ranker is actually an irregular, who is just as strong as at least a B-ranker. And if everything he said is true, then he probably came from a 4th planet, unknown to them. Kim Miso then asks her assistant to make sure that this gets no news coverage. But her assistant tells her that they're a bit too late for that, as he shows her all the news coverage the matter has already gotten. This makes her panic, as she tells her assistant to remove all the articles and put an embargo. By now, the reporters were all over the matter, as people were trying to get pictures of Suho and wanted to have an interview with him, even when he was just trying to go to eat. Suho was confused by all the attention he was getting. Meanwhile, Kim Miso was wondering if Suho somehow managed to keep his full physical abilities. Despite crossing the portal bridge without any protectional gear, his low-dimensional energy back then gave him a low score. It was also then that the ranking system at the Awakeners Bureau started having errors, so it could be that they ranked him wrongly. However, if everything is true, and if Suho is a returnee from an unknown fourth planet, Kim Miso thinks this is great news for them, because this gives South Korea an edge in the development of a potential fourth planet in the portal bridge. Meanwhile, we see that guards have arrived at the scene to stop reporters from getting access to Park Suho. This allowed him to go inside, but the reporters were still trying to reach out to him. People inside wondered why there were so many reporters. Before realizing it was all for Suho, they understand it, because he did shatter the records with his physical test. Meanwhile, Suho was eating an abnormally large meal as Dong-soo watched on in mesmerization. He finds happiness in knowing that he wasn't just knocked out in one blow by nobody, and that Suho is special. In hindsight, he regrets having not streamed the fight. Suho notices how Dong-soo was staring at him, so he called him out for it and asked if he was done eating already. Dong-soo says no, and volunteers to bring him some water. Dong-soo could tell that Suho is something special just from how much food he was able to eat in one go. He is sure that Suho will make it big in life. After this, they go back to their locker room and Suho lays down. Dong-soo sees how empty the locker room was, and from that he could tell that all of their teammates have failed. He considers this to be disastrous, as this means the next task will be tough for them. He mentions how the next test will have them go through dungeon raiding. They will be going in teams, so the teams with the most members will have a distinctive advantage. Suho tells him not to worry, as they don't need others. Dong-soo is taken aback by his confidence, but goes on talking about how this is different. He knows that Suho is strong, but dungeon raids are unpredictable. So, it would have been better if they had more members looking at different areas. Suho tells him to lay back and relax, and instead asks him to tell him about the stuff he was doing on his phone before. Dong-soo tells him that he was on YouTube, and says that Suho surely knows what that is. Suho was left confused by the term, which surprised Dong-soo. He couldn't believe that Suho didn't know this, and asks if he was living under a rock. Suho thinks that describes his situation quite well, leaving Dong-soo seriously surprised. Dong-soo then shows him what YouTube is and how subscribers work. He tells him how 1,200 plus people are watching his videos regularly. Meanwhile, Suho notices another YouTuber with more subscribers than Dong-soo. He then notices a video with millions of views, and Dong-soo explains to him that it is a mukbang video and that those do really well. Suho watches the video and is shocked by how much the person in it was eating. Dong-soo thought it was not something Suho should say when he eats so much himself. However, he makes Suho happy by telling him that he knows mukbang YouTubers in real life and that he can set Suho up with them for a stream. Suho loves the idea, as it will allow him to eat a lot. Dong-soo realizes that Suho really has everything one needs to be a YouTube star. He is handsome, has a nice physique. He is already in the news for his activities, and his athletic history is known well. He also knows that Suho will have tons of requests from different guilds as soon as he is done with the tests. This is when Suho tells Dong-soo that he is a nice guy, and that he likes him, so he asks Dong-soo to join his clan. Dong-soo is shocked by this, and his shock is doubled when he learns that Suho will make his own clan instead of joining someone else's guild. However, he thinks this is a great opportunity for him. He can make content on the making of a new clan, and he can do streams on dungeon hunting from there. Not to mention, he will have the best student of the year with him, so there's that too. Dong-soo then recalls his past. He had a rough upbringing, and boxing was his only escape from the poor life. However, he was unable to get a professional license no matter how much he tried. Despite that, he never gave up and kept at it. But the great disaster took away all of his hopes. He wanted to make it big. But his friends told him that boxing won't make him money after the great disaster. He either needs to become an Awakener mercenary or join the MMA scene. Dong-soo had heard of YouTube, so he wanted to try that to make some money. But his friends told him that YouTube just doesn't work for everyone, and that he needs great and unique content to make it big. And Dong-soo has that opportunity now. With Suho, he will be able to make unique and nice content, so he agrees to join the clan. He says that he will do anything Suho tells him to, and this makes Suho very happy. For now, Suho wants him to keep the promise of setting him up for a mukbang stream. Dongsu agrees, and he tears up knowing the chance he has on his hand. Afterwards, Dongsu tells Suho that they need 3 members to form a clan at the very least. This worries Suho. But just then, a monk arrives at their room. The monk is named Jin, and he has just been assigned to the number 15 squad. They're both shocked to see a mercenary monk. But there he was. This is when an announcement is made, asking the students to switch into their battle suits and arrive at the designated room. This confuses Dongsu, as he thought that they were doing the dungeon raids tomorrow, and not this late at night. Myungjin says that he heard that the supervisors can decide to do it whenever they want, be it night, so they go to the room as the head supervisor briefs them on the dungeon raid. He tells them that they'll be going to the level 1 dungeon in the 5th sector of Seoul, which is under the protection of the Phoenix Guild. Suho is intrigued by this, so Dongsu tells him that the Phoenix Guild, while not being a top 12 one, are pretty powerful. Suho asks him what it means for the dungeon to be under their protection. Dongsu tells him that with portals opening up everywhere in Korea, the government got tired of taking care of them all. So, they divided Seoul in sectors and gave regional mercenary clans the duty to protect them. The mercenary clans were renamed to guilds, and they protect the dungeons in exchange for having control over the land and getting access to the dimensional energy there. With time, the clans with bigger dungeons got more influence, as the international economy saw more dimensional energy as wealth for the nation. Suho interprets that these are government-legalized hunting grounds for the guild, to which Dongsu says yes. Suho initially wanted to make a clan because he missed hunting with the wolf pack. However, now that he knows that he will also get to own land, it makes him more excited. So, he declares that their clan's objective will be to become a guild. Dongsu thinks that it is a bit too early to think of that, as they still need to pass the test. The head supervisor then shows them pictures of the dungeon and describes it as a labyrinth. He says that it has the lowest level of monsters and dimensional energy. So, he thinks it is a shame that they won't be able to get much out of it, but it is important for experience. Dongsu understands that monsters aren't really of danger to them. Instead, the labyrinth-like structure is something that will trouble them. He really wishes that he had the search skill because of this, but Suho tells him that he already has that. This stuns Dongsu, because he didn't expect someone to have that skill before even passing the mercenary test. After all, the skill is worth $30,000. So, it makes him wonder if Suho was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. As they were talking about things, Dongsu asks the monk Myungjin if he has an awakener skill of himself. Myungjin seemingly becomes uncomfortable because of this question, as he goes into pondering instead of answering. Myungjin then thinks about the past when he used to be a normal priest at a Buddhist temple. He would pray Buddhist chants all day like a normal monk priest. However, one day, disaster struck. A group of monsters entered their land area, and they were being led by a giant monster. Eventually, the monster made their way inside the temple. Myungjin was praying, with everything else being unbeknownst to him. This is when one of his fellow monk priests enters the room and tells Myungjin that he should escape immediately along with the high priest. Myungjin was confused and didn't process things properly when a monster suddenly came and attacked his fellow monk. These horrific memories haunts him to this very day and makes him unable to speak about many things. The briefing on dungeon raiding concludes, as Myungjin's silence makes him as a weird person to Dongsu. As his final words, the head supervisor tells the students that they'll be now moving into the dungeon. They'll be raiding the dungeon as a team under the tutelage of their assigned supervisor. While they're moving, he instructs they look into the manual again to get better accustomed to it. He wishes everyone luck in passing the exam. Following this, they go to the dungeon on their bus, and helicopters fly around the area to guard the students. The head supervisor tells everyone to get off the bus quickly. He doesn't like how they are moving sluggishly and tells them to be quicker. Meanwhile, Supervisor Kim Sang-shik tells team number 15 to prepare as well. Kim Sang-shik tells them that once they enter, they should ignore his existence and work by themselves as a team. After all, they need to perform individually. Because even if the team clears, an individual can fail based on their personal score. Worried, Dongsu points out how their team is the thinnest with only 3 members. So he hopes that Sang-shik would step in to help. Sang-shik ignores the question and asks them to move on. As they proceed to get out, Suho asks Dongsu why he is so scared. Dongsu tells him that he is not exactly scared. Following this, Suho asks them if they can take personal weapons to the dungeon, to which Myung-jin says yes, as he was carrying a weapon of his own. Seeing this shocks Dongsu, because he didn't expect Myung-jin to have a specialized dimensional energy-based weapon of his own before even passing the mercenary test. Meanwhile, the 14th team complete entrance into the dungeon, and it was time for the 15th team to enter through the 175th gate. Sang-shik leads them on, and just like that, Team 15 was inside the dungeon. As they enter the dungeon, Suho takes the lead and walks ahead of everyone. Seeing him be the de facto leader made Dongsu feel a bit awkward. He decides to tell Suho to set up a perimeter first instead of walking aimlessly. However, he ends up saying this out quite loud. He immediately regrets doing so, because this will definitely cause points to be docked off from his side. He should have entered silently and made sure the team had reached a safe zone before speaking out loud and drawing the attention of the monsters. And just as he had suspected, a monster had tracked them down from the noise and was about to attack Suho from his blind side. Despite that, Suho easily disposes of the monster. He just grabs its head and smashes it down on the ground, breaking its bones in the process. They had slayed their first monster of the dungeon raid, and Dongsu tries to show it off as an assist for him. He says that his tactic of making noise and catching the monsters off guard, luring them in and finishing them off went well. They proceed to move on after that. But not too long after, Dongsu asks Suho if he is using his search skill while moving forward, because if he messes that up, they'll be in huge trouble. His words turn into prophecy again, as Suho ends up taking a misstep. They quickly understand that something was wrong, before Dongsu noticing that it was a booby trap, as tons of arrows rain down at them. They're caught off guard by this, but Myung-jin comes to the rescue, stepping forward and ready to draw his weapon. As he is doing so, he recalls that horrific day from his past. He recalls how the giant monster was wreaking havoc, as his fellow monk was doing his best, beating off lesser monsters. Amidst the destruction, Myung-jin was trying his best to escape with the high priest. However, he wasn't able to forgive himself, because he thought that it was his fault that such a big problem happened in the first place. Channeling his anger and frustration from that day, Myung-jin uses his staff with the full moon whirlwind skill, easily deflecting and breaking the arrows coming in at them. Dongsu sees this, and understands that Myung-jin's skills with the weapon are no joke. However, misfortune continues to haunt them as they take another misstep, and end up falling prey to another trap. The trap activates and the floor underneath them splits apart, sending all of them flying down to the floor below. They scream and yell in surprise, but they fall down and the floor above them once again settles in normally, blocking their way back up. Down below, things aren't so smooth. Park Suho and Myung-jin manage to land on their feet and manage to avoid being hurt. However, Dongsu ends up taking a big fall flat on his back. He groans in pain, as he states that this is really as worse as it gets. He can't help but wonder if this is how all of his dreams will come crashing down. But the noise he makes seemingly alerts other monsters, putting them in trouble. Dongsu notices this, and says that they've probably pulled in some aggro. Myung-jin says that he can't do much, as his reawakened skill is an arena of effect taunt. Dongsu is surprised knowing this. However, Park Suho was content with this and says that it is good, because he is too lazy to go around and look for everything himself. Park Suho's nonchalant behavior confuses Myung-jin, but it is not long after that Suho uses his brilliant athleticism to perform an acrobatic kick to the roof of the dungeon. This breaks the roof and allows Suho to get back up without much problem. Suho then tells Myung-jin that he has taken a liking to him, so he wants the monk to join his clan as well. Just then, Suho senses a group of monsters rushing at him at full speed. Realizing this, he uses his search ability to pinpoint them, and he goes running straight at them to catch them off guard. Dongsu is overwhelmed by all of this, as he wonders if they are doomed for real. However, Myung-jin, who had climbed back up using his staff as leverage, offers Dongsu to grab onto his staff and get back up as well. Dongsu takes it with open arms, and once again pretends that everything is going right according to his plans. Once Myung-jin and Dongsu go to catch up with Suho, they see a graveyard of monsters ahead of them. All were slayed by the mighty Suho, leaving them stunned. Suho, while taking care of oncoming monsters, instructs Dongsu and Myung-jin to attack the remaining weakened monsters to help him out. Myung-jin and Dongsu follow his orders and get to work right away. Together, The three of them decimate all of the monsters. The supervisor, Kim Sang-shik, watches this and wonders if Suho is using the special search skill to make things easier for him and detecting all the booby traps. Not only that, he also realizes that Suho is using the booby traps to his advantage to get the better of all the monsters. However, just then a monster was about to attack Suho from behind him, catching him off guard. But Myung-jin uses his staff to impale the monster right there, saving Suho the effort. This draws out praise from Dong-soo. Suho then finishes off the rest of the monsters, finishing off everything in style. At the main office of surveillance, the staff are informed about a team being done already and exiting the dungeon. This surprises everyone, as it has only been about 30 minutes since the start of the test, and usually, this dungeon takes about 5 hours to finish. The head supervisor asks which team it is, to which they learn it is Team 15. The head supervisor knows that this is the team with Park Soo-ho, so he immediately makes a call to Kim Sang-shik. The head supervisor asks Kim Sang-shik why they were exiting the dungeon already, to which Sang-shik tells him that they've already finished the test, stunning the head supervisor. Sang-shik then goes on to say that it will be hard to judge how much individual ability each one of them possess based on such an entry-level dungeon. But if the head supervisor watches the video, he will understand just how devilishly strong Park Soo-ho is. Not only that, he has once again set a new record for the fastest time ever recorded to finish this dungeon. The next day, the city was moving normally when Dong-soo decided to start a live stream. He started the live stream to commemorate and showcase the very first day of the adventurers, of the brand new Suho clan. The viewers ask him what he is going to show them, to which Dong-soo says that they'll be watching the official house tour of the Suho clan to begin things. For the house tour, he showcases the rather modest-looking Korean-style dormitory as the official base of the Suho clan. He begins proceedings by showing the sexy and attractive cook of the clan, who turns out to be a granny. He asks Granny to say something to the viewers, but Granny was pissed off. She was very busy and told Dong-soo to get lost, or else she would use her knives to cut his stomach open and use his intestines to make a tripe dish. Her words alone are enough to make Dong-soo bleed out of his ears. Meanwhile, Suho's nephew and his brother were also present there, eating. The viewers thought Granny was quite extreme, but Dong-soo moves on to the next part. The viewers notice a Buddha statue there and ask Dong-soo who it belongs to. Dong-soo reveals that it is owned by a member of the Suho clan, the master of the Bang Lim style of staff martial arts, the monk Myung-jin. He then moves inside the next room, where Suho and Myung-jin were present and eating. Suho and Myung-jin see Dong-soo, and they tell him to join them and eat. Dong-soo instead decides to introduce Myung-jin to the viewers. He tells Myung-jin to introduce himself. Myung-jin is left a bit flustered by this, but he introduces himself and says that he has lost a lot of himself to the monster's attacks. However, he continues to live on and fight back. He shows everyone the holy staff left by his predecessors, and how he will use it to bring glory. Before he could complete himself, a truck had arrived to take them. So the three of them skipped the part and moved into the back of the truck. Once there, Suho notices a lot of drones flying around and surveying them. He asks what those things are, and if he should just destroy them. Dong-soo finds it quite amazing that he doesn't know about these things, and tells Suho that those are auto-recording drones. As they move on, Dong-soo tells everyone that they are heading towards the fourth gate. He shows them the blue barrier that could be seen from there, and tells everyone that today will be historical, as it is the first real dungeon quest of the Suho clan. Dong-soo then wraps it up by reminding his viewers that his awakened ability is video memory, so he will be back with a fresh new upload soon. After this, the three of them enter the dungeon, where Dong-soo starts streaming again. Suho asks why there are so many bats, to which Dong-soo says it is because this is a bat dungeon. There were thousands of bats flying around, so Dong-soo asks Suho if he has a long-range attack that can possibly take down the bats at once. Suho says that he doesn't, which makes Dong-soo worry as he asks how they'll get through if that is the case. Myung-jin tells them to not worry, as he has something up his sleeves. Myung-jin plays the Buddhist music, as he starts chanting Buddhist spells, activating his AoE special skill. This takes everyone by surprise, as the effect of this chant causes the bats to start behaving weirdly. Dong-soo showcases that to his viewers, as the bats were coming together and spinning like a whirlwind. As Myung-jin continues to do so, the bats get aligned and come speeding at Myung-jin. Dong-soo showcases this like a tense battle to the viewers. the monstrous bats coming at Myung-jin with malice, and Myung-jin taking out his staff and ready to take them on. As the bats are about to attack Myung-jin, he spins his staff to create the fire whirlwind, burning each and every bat on the spot. Dong-soo showcases these impressive feats to the viewers. As the boss of the bat dungeon, a giant monster bat arrives in anger. However, the leader barely lasts against them, as Suho uses his patented longsword slash to cut the bat in half, and just like that, they had completed another dungeon, and the viewers of the stream were left ecstatic. At the Awakener's Bureau, Kim Miso watches this and sighs. Her assistant informs her that with them basing their clan in the 4th sector of Seoul, they are clearing dungeons with ease. They are currently averaging 20 clears per day. They are destroying every level 1 dungeon in their area and racking up records. Kim Miso checks out the video Dong-soo posted and the massive engagement it is getting. Dong-soo now has 68,000 subscribers. Kim Miso mentions how she put an embargo to cover up Suho's feats, but one of his teammates turned out to be a streamer, ruining her plan. The assistant tells her that currently, videos documenting Park Suho are the number 3 trend in the entire nation. If they let things be, these things will only get more and more popular. Kim Miso, worried, says that she is aware of this. Just then, her eyes catch another video on the trending list. It was a video of the Russian Michelle Yorvas challenging the world champion, Okita Hero of Japan Next. She watches the video, where Michelle Yorvas uses his special ultimate punch to destroy someone named Horizon. Yorvas then follows it up by calling out the world number 1 ranked Okita Hero of Japan, saying he is next. This worries Kim Miso, as she thinks about Okita Hero and Lee Sung-woo SS rank irregular born in South Korea. She wonders if the country will rush into it in the name of talent protection and create a second Lee Sung-woo case. Worried by this, she decides to act. She tells her assistant to contact Park Suho and states that she will go there herself. Meanwhile, at the Suho clan official base, Dong-soo was worried about just how much it was costing him to get basic food like kimbap. Following this, he asks if the monk, Myung-jin, didn't come to work today, to which Park Junho, Suho's brother, tells him no. This confuses Suho, who asks where Myung-jin is, because he doesn't even have a temple to go to. Junho tells him that Myung-jin has been living in Seoul with his temple family that survived that day, so he is with them. However, Dong-soo is upset, because without Myung-jin, their hunting efficiency drastically goes down. But Park Junho tells Suho that they can probably take a day off today because they have enough resources and points to renew their level already. He mentions how their clan has gathered $120,000 already in 3 days. This shocks Dong-soo, who asks Junho if they can level up to 2nd level dungeons, to which he says yes. This makes Han Dong-soo happy, because he already has $17,000 in his bank account in just 3 days, and he has done nothing but collect blood crystals for it. But with them targeting level 2 dungeons next, it makes him wonder just how much he can exploit this to get more donations. Park Suho takes one look at Dong-soo, and now he can see his full name, and can tell that he is a level 3 YouTuber, and F-ranked. Suho had over 30,000 achievement points, so he used it to acquire some extra skills. This has caused him to see such unnecessary information about others. Suho then says that they should take the day off, making everyone happy. Junho says that he will use the break to take his son, Gunwoo and Granny Lee Sukja, to a nearby park. Suho notices that there isn't any information available about Junho. The same is the case with Lee Sukja when he looks at her, but he could see that the baby wolf, Baekgu, is at level 1 and has combat power of 3. This makes Suho wonder if wolves can also be awakened like human beings. He then looks at Junho and mentions how he has seen that Junho has been fixing his truck a lot lately. Junho is deeply bothered by this, as finding replacement parts for the truck is hard by itself. But actually having to fix the truck is what is bothering him beyond words. Hearing this, Suho suggests they go out and buy a new truck for him today. This excites Junho a lot, and he asks Suho if he is being for real. Suho tells him yes, and says that they will be taking Baekgu along with them. At the truck shop, the seller shows them the Kondai Drago XG7000 truck, which is one of the best ones out there. Junho loves it, because it is a truck that is said to be made for mercenaries. The Kondai Dragon series is every mercenary's dream vehicle. The seller goes into more detail, saying the truck can actively use blood crystals to power itself instead of fuel. Also, it is only $68,000 in price, so it is considered quite efficient when compared to other brands. Suho asks his younger brother if he likes this truck, to which Junho says that he loves it. So Suho decides on getting it for him. He pays for the truck up front so they get to drive the truck back home. As they drove back, Junho couldn't stop praising the truck for how good it felt. It was way better compared to the trash truck he used to drive. However, he asked Suho why they were going to the 23rd gate of Seoul's 4th sector, because that place is generally considered close. Suho knows that. But he brings up how Junho once told him that he couldn't awaken his powers because he didn't have the money to do so. So, Suho thinks they should do it now. Junho is shocked by this, and he is skeptical about doing this, but Suho wants to do it. They eventually arrive at their desired place. Once they enter the area, Baekgu starts feeling weird and starts reacting aggressively because of it. Suho says that both him and Baekgu can smell the pissy aura in the place, and that he is sure that it is because of the goblins. This sends shivers down Junho's spine, who expresses that he is uncomfortable and that he doesn't want to do it here, and wants to head back. But Suho tells him to rest assured in the truck along with Baekgu until he comes back. He then exits the truck and goes off somewhere. Meanwhile, at the office of a loan-paying service, a few men watch videos on Dongsu's channel about Suho clan, and they specifically pinpoint Suho. They want to get rid of him, but they are fully aware of his status as an irregular. He is too damn strong, and hiring assassins won't have an effect on him, as they won't be able to deal damage to him. Despite that, they can't just let Suho do what he is doing, and must do something to put a stop to his antics. They decide to look into the list of guilds in Sector 4 of Seoul that they've been funding to see if that can work. This is when one of them remembers that if the matter is in Sector 4, they have Manager Choi there. This excites the first guy. Who knows that Manager Choi is the real deal? If taking out one guy is the mission, he will do it with ease. But he does demand a hefty payday for it. After all, he did once take care of 6 guys for them, so he tells his partner to contact Manager Choi and give him the task of eradicating Park Suho. He is willing to pay him any amount for it. Meanwhile, the rain had gotten more intense outside. Granny Sukja was heading back home, as she realized that she needs to take out the laundry before it gets wet. This is when a car stops in front of her. From there, Kim Miso comes out, and she introduces herself to Granny. She asks her about Park Suho, whom she wants to meet. Meanwhile, back at the 23rd gate, Park Junho was getting impatient, as more than half an hour had passed, yet Suho wasn't back. The atmosphere was still quite creepy, and Baekgu was still acting aggressively. Just then, a goblin flashes in front of the car window, scaring Junho. But the goblin almost immediately gets subdued to his relief. It was Suho who had done so, and he opened the door to ask Junho and Baekgu to come out. Junho was still feeling reluctant, but he followed his brother. Taking another look at the weakened goblin gives Junho a chilly feeling, but Suho just gives him a knife and tells him to follow him after he is done finishing the goblin off. This was something Junho simply couldn't accept, as he doesn't have the courage to do so. He tries to oppose it, but Suho tells him to do it. He asks Suho if it is really important for him to awaken his abilities, to which Suho says that he can't survive while being weak. Suho then orders Baekgu, who is still angry, to bite the goblin. Baekgu doesn't hesitate, and immediately bites the goblin. But even in its weakened state, the goblin outpowers Baekgu and grabs a hold of its head. Suho states that Baekgu is too young to take down a goblin at this point, so he tells Junho to use the knife and finish the goblin before it finishes Baekgu. With tears in his eyes, Baekgu still wasn't sure of doing it, but Suho yelled at him to do it. Meanwhile, the goblin was starting to bite down on Baekgu. In order to save Baekgu, Junho finally gives in and uses the knife to stab the goblin, splattering blood. This is enough to save Baekgu, but Suho tells Junho to keep stabbing the goblin until it is no longer alive. Junho unwillingly keeps on stabbing the goblin until his knife falls out of his hands. Junho pants before looking at his hands, no covered in blood. This was a shocking visual for him. Suho tells Junho to pick up the knife, but Junho tells him that he can't do these things. However, Suho tells him that if he doesn't use the knife, he will lose his own life. Just then, Junho notices that another goblin was slowly approaching him and Baekgu. This scares Junho, but Suho tells him to finish off this goblin and keep following without wasting time, before walking away. This reminds Junho of the past. When he used to be bullied by fellow students at school, they would put him down and beat him up when Suho would pass right by them. They would make fun of him for this, and Junho would call out to Suho, But just like now, Suho wouldn't even bother looking back at him once. Remembering this and having the goblin approach him made Junho pick up the knife. He prepares himself while accepting the fact that his brother has always left him in trouble like this. So, he stabs the goblin before it could grab him. He stabs it from the jaw up to the head and keeps stabbing it relentlessly, telling it to shut up. He mounts the goblin and stabs it till its head split opened, and it was no longer alive. Doing this brought the sinister side out of Junho, who laughed while being covered in blood. Just then, he was attacked by another goblin, which had took him down, and mounted on top of him. The goblin was about to bite him, but this Junho was different. He mustered up strength and courage to stab it on the throat. Before swiftly finishing it off, he then followed his brother's trail to arrive there with Baek-gu. He giggled maniacally, while saying that he doesn't like this sticky feeling he has on his hands from the flesh of the goblins. He asks his brother why he is doing this. Instead of saving him, Suho looks at Junho, and now the status bar shows that Junho is a level 1 awakener with the butcher ability. Suho finds this quite cute, and asks Junho if he ever worked part-time as a butcher. Junho says no. Suho then asks Junho to come up and help him finish off hundreds of goblins that were behind him. Following this, Suho takes his brother, who is now entirely covered in goblins' blood, to the Awakener's Bureau. There, the receptionist is overwhelmed by what she was seeing. Suho tells her that Junho has just awakened his skills. The receptionist tells them to first go to the shower and clean themselves up properly. After this, they will receive a quarantine inspection, and when they're done with that, they can go to the 3rd floor and go for the dimensional energy measurement test. As they go up to the shower, Junho asks what the receptionist meant when she talked about measurement. Suho explains that there is a machine that measures a person's dimensional energy and gives them points based on that. A person needs to score at least 100 points to get an F rank. After that, they can take the mercenary test. Suho reveals that he got a 96 himself, so he had initially failed this test. Junho finds it quite unbelievable that Suho of all people failed this energy measurement test. After they're done with the shower, they go to the measurement room, where Junho is told to lay down on the machine. Junho does so, and after his measurement test is completed, he is told to go to the ability manifestation room. The doctor then asks Suho if he also intends to take the dimensional energy measurement test again, to which Suho says yes. Suho lays down on the machine as well, but he starts seeing weird visuals there. He sees a lot of eyes watching him, while the status menu showing a message which says that someone unknown is watching him and that they're recording his information. This makes Suho uncomfortable, and he unceremoniously wakes up as his score hits 189. The doctor sees this and says that his growth is as rapid as people have said. Currently, Suho can easily become an E-ranker. Suho, still shaken up by the experience, asks the doctor who had made this machine. The doctor says that it must have been made by the scientists, which sends Suho into a deep thought.